What's up, guys? I made it. I'm here at our campground in Donley, Idaho. As I said in the shorts video that I just put up a couple days ago, Phenyx reached back out to us and asked us to do another review. And I was a little surprised, I'm not gonna lie. And they had just one request that we review their product. They gave me a date they would love to have the video done by, which was a very reasonable time, like the timeline that they gave us. Here was the only request they had, is that we show it in use. And we actually did test the previous P2U, I don't remember, that wireless mic combo. We tested that pretty extensively. I just didn't film any of it. And we're gonna change that for this review. That was their specific request. I'm excited to do another one. So here they are. We've got two packages here. We've got a PM25. They offer this in two models. They offer the PM25 base mic, and then they offer a P25S, which is a switch mic. Always love a good switch mic. Use them on stages for talkbacks all the time, front of house talkback, all that stuff. This unit is marked as being a PM25 with a green sticker. Both of these items that I received came in what I think is an Amazon box. I think they use Amazon to ship their stuff, which makes sense from an inventory perspective. And the next thing is really the principal thing that we're testing here, which is the Ptu-X. This is a little wireless module that gets added to wireless mics, basically making them a wired mic, making it a wireless mic, quote unquote. I find interestingly on this one, it's charged via USB-C, which is great. But it also provides phantom power. And so, I mean, immediately one of my first questions is, how long is that phantom power going to last on whatever battery's in here? Now, the only thing that I can't test today is the longevity of the battery that's in this unit. Like, you know, are you going to have performance issues in a year, less than a year? Will you never have them? You know, I don't really know. It is crazy I'm taking this long to open a box. I have a rib out. Ugh. And I feel like anything. Kind of learning how much force you put on your diaphragm and your ribs, because I keep doing it and it hurts a lot. So, box is a little damaged, but the box it's shipped in is not. So this box actually came to me with damage on it, just like a little bit crushed here. I'm not sure. Maybe the units that they set aside for people to test are boxes that you wouldn't, want to send to a customer. Which, I don't know. That seems reasonable to me. All right, in the microphone box. Wow, pretty thick cable. Not branded with Phenyx stuff, but Phenyx Pro does have this little tie. This Velcro tie on it. The cable feels great. I hate when cables are packed like this. Depending on the material that the mic cable sheathing is made out of, it just holds this shape forever, so it doesn't wrap up nice. A good park it out in the parking lot in the sunshine will fix that though. Nice little felt cover here. I don't feel like the felt is necessary, but maybe it's to make it feel premium, which is, who knows? This looks like hot glue strands. It's not it's not hair. Who knows? All right, so first thought here on opening the PM25. They have a ridge on it. I don't like the way that it makes the mic look, but obviously it's so that this mic won't roll. The look is a little odd. Obviously, this kind of looks like an SM58 cap. I think Shure really nailed it on the head with the look of that. there's a certain, this may not make sense to anybody, but there's a certain way that if a mic windscreen looks, that it'll look cheap. And I do feel like this one looks cheap. I don't know how to explain that better, but that's just something that I feel. The mic's pretty heavy. That doesn't necessarily, of course, translate to quality, but I think it does translate to the body can take a beating without affecting the inside of the mic. Under the windscreen, it looks like a 58 and a 57. I'm sure it's designed like that. There's no movement in the actual capsule here. The wires going to the transducer are definitely recessed, so that's awesome. Good screen here. Helps keep those plosives out. So all in all, feels like a really solid mic. Actually like it a lot. Some instructions here in the box that say open here on these tabs. Got it. There, mic clip. It's branded. Let's give it the Sure test. You know what the Sure test is? Pulling on it to see if it snaps. Because Sure makes the absolute best microphone holders. Bar none. I don't care. Also, you know what I'm talking about. You use their bags to put everything in. It's just the best. This is actually nice. There are a lot of companies out there that make trash versions of these. And this one's not trash. I don't know. Maybe it wears out over time. I don't know how hard the threads are. Sometimes these are made out of really soft metal, so after like 10 uses, they're just obliterated and you throw them away. But this fits the mic nice. One thing I don't like is just moving it here. If I put it on the real bulky part of the mic and slide it down, it falls off immediately. It doesn't slide with it. So the plastic that's used here does not go back to being small very quickly. It's a small note, but I think that's important, you know, for the usability of the mic. And just put that in there. Am I going to use that? No, I'm going to use a Sure clip. It's better. Faux leather bag. Obviously, looks like a Sure bag. Fairly nice inside. Stitching is good. A little thin, you can kind of tell. But genuinely not a bad bag. If you've ever bought cheap knockoff mics from like AliExpress or, you know, sites like that, you know what I'm talking about. Those bags are just, they're borderline hilarious. Put the mic clip on the mic when I put it in the bag because there's not quite enough room to have the two apart. Okay, that's the microphone open and done. Move that guy out of here and throw in the PTXU. Oh, wow. The P2. Either I'm just bad at this or we need different names here. Ptu-X. I'm going to have to say like wireless module or something because I'm going to keep messing that up. All right, another nice bag here. Really, really thin. I said nice, but I'm kind of going the other way with that. This is super thin. Oh yeah, this would tear it in no time. I don't think that this bag would like make it. If you're making pro stuff and you put pro on it, it should be pro. The quality of this bag, low. I feel like that would be damaged immediately. If you're looking for something to protect the thing that you make, it should be able to protect the thing that you made. All right, we've got a USB-C charging cable here. Looks like it's got a USB type A to type C. There's two type C's for that type A, so this is just basically splitting probably what is 5 volts of power so that you can charge the transmitter and the receiver. I don't know, call me old-fashioned, but I think if you're going to ship a charger, I'm kind of the opinion that you should provide a brick. That way, I mean, I understand that you could like plug it into a computer or anything else, honestly. And that's exactly what I would do, but you should ship a brick. That way, when you want to plug this in anywhere, you're not having to go find something that is going to take a USB type A. You can just plug it into a wall and there's your solution. Just a note from me. Anyway, here's the PM25 and the Ptu-X Tx, so the transmitter. This obviously is meant to go like this. The fit is pretty good. I'm going to tighten this up actually and just see what happens here. Oh, no way. So this is not for connecting to something. This tightens up the end so it won't come out. Nice. So this turns it into a lock. Nice. Well, that's pretty cool. I know that the point of this is to make this a wireless. This feels weird. I got to tell you though, it is balanced. Its balance point is right. Boy, it's right about at the mid mic. So this was well thought through. Right where you would hold this is where the balance point is. So that's, I mean, good job, Phenyx. Somebody thought through that. That's awesome. So this transmitter supplies phantom power, which I did not expect to see. We'll see how it does for battery life. They've got an infrared sensor on the front of it, so you can sync these two, your general power button, and then a 48 volt supply, you know, turn it on or turn it off. There's a couple of LED indicators here. One is for the 48 volt, whether it's enabled or not, and then a battery light, which is going to be when your battery starts running low. There's also a mic and a line switch here at the bottom. And that's great because not all the time are you going to be plugging this into a mic. You could, from what I assume, there's no way to like make this into a little clip. That would be sick. But you can, you know, change this out to line and, you know, run something line level. If you wanted to, I don't know, throw an acoustic guitar through it or something like that, you know, or, you know, depending on what your pedal board or whatever looked like. Seems super convenient. For something like this, just thinking out loud here, a clip, kind of like the back of the, like a set of in-ears, like a PSM 300. You know how they've got those little mounting clips on the side? That would be cool to have on this, you know, a little clip that goes in line with the body and you could slide this down a strap. I could see that being huge. That would add a lot of value to what is already a pretty valuable piece of equipment. This is our receiver. I'm going to hold the power button here. Looks like channel 6 is what comes up first. And that was it. It just stayed there. The channel is set on the receiver. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit this real quick. Very similar to like Shure BLX stuff. That's what this makes me think of. All right. So the way that a channel is set on these is you run over here to channel. You bump through the ones that you want to go try. And then you hit the RF sync button down below and that'll set it. If you don't do that, it'll go back to the channel it was on. But it's a good safety feature because if you're, you know, just messing around and you bump your receiver button, it's not going to change that channel like with any kind of permanence unless you tell it to sync. So you can bump this accidentally and it's not going to, you know, drop your signal because it shuts off. Sync this. See if I can put it up here so that we can see it syncing. That's it. So pretty quick. I didn't even have it super aimed in line. And on the receiver, the RF light is lit up, indicating that the transmitter here is powered on and they are connected. That's it. So this obviously goes into this mic. I'm gonna put the lock on this. Check, 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 check. Check, check, check. Hey, 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 hey. Okay, so there's no audio meter on these. Also, another small thing that could be just awesome, you know, just a small green LED, not on the transmitter, on the receiver, just to, you know, that's that little bit of verification that stuff's coming through. It's just good for, you know, the user interface, the UIF stuff. I'm always thinking about the UIF things. So, there is no large battery display on here that shows like 5 bars of battery or 3 bars or whatever. You know that you're going to start having battery issues when the battery light comes on. How long that takes probably is in direct correlation to how the unit is used. And I'm going to look up battery here in the manual to see what kind of time that you've got left when the battery light comes on. The batteries are a 3.7 volt rechargeable lithium on 1,000 milliamps. So 1,000 milliamp hour for these batteries. That's pretty good size. There are like a ton of phone chargers that are basically that. So that's the unboxing of the product. And my thoughts just on it. They feel pretty well built for the price that they're at. I had no notes actually on like the quality of these. The connectors are not garbage. They feel really well seated into the bodies here. Genuinely good job, Phenyx. There's some defects in the plastic, but I mean, what person is even caring about that? Probably none. That's probably just me. The cable's good. The mic feels nice. The only beef I've got is this stupid bag. This is, even with an out of place rib right now, I could probably pull this apart. I really don't want to do that, but I could probably shred that bag. So I don't know. Get a different bag. This bag's great. This is all we need right here. Put these in that. Would work just fine. We don't need whatever this is. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm up here at our campground, like I said, and here's the surprise. We've got 4 vocal mics on this setup here. All of them are Shure 58s. Everything's getting mixed through an SQ5 and going through a fairly decent PA up here for the camp. We've got full in-ears. We've got 40 channels of patch, and I'm going to run this. I'm going to do it literally tonight, and we'll put this on a vocal. And I'm going to record the left-right mix, and then also the dedicated output of this microphone so we can hear it. Also, we have a beach here, and we do some stuff out at the beach. It's about 100-yard or 100-foot throw from where the mixer is up on the bank down to the water. So I'm going to do some range testing with this in real time, see how it does, and then also use this in a live production environment with a live band on a real live stage and see how it works. Now, here's the deal. If it fails, we'll do some rescans and stuff. You know, I don't want to have the show pay a price for me, you know, measuring this. But so far, the wireless stuff from Phenyx has been pretty rock solid. We're going to test it out, see how it does, and if it just can't handle it, then we'll go back to a wired mic for that set and forget that we even did this. So the real question, is this trash or will it cut mustard? Guess we're going to go find out. All right, that one's going.
Or do we need this one?
That one's going.
Can you just stay on
Okay.
working wing longer, or?
I'm gonna go patch this and see what happens.
So you don't have to build that all the way up, but
Okay,
dropping
so
it all the way down is fine. The Daniel doesn't have to.
we're putting in that unit here on our split at 32.
But the more bare, the better.
And then basically we're putting in 32 into this desk, which it's already there.
Okay. Great. Sweet. So is that all we're doing?
Okay, I'm gonna patch it down into 33 into the snake.
Yes.
Like that's a good song. So set
All right, 33's in.
We'll save it for another night. Oh yeah, or tonight. She goes, save it, I'm done.
This is the moment where we
Oh yeah, no. I do.
fire.
There's a lot going on too, and they short set for them.
Fire.
Cause you took away my shame and you led it to the cross. Got me running out the grave. Hallelujah, here I come. Cause you took away my shame and you led it to the cross. Got me running out the grave. Hallelujah, here I come. Hallelujah, here I come. Hallelujah, here I come. Hallelujah, here I come. Hallelujah, here I come.
Okay, so I'm out here at the beach, or what is our beach. We're out here in Lake Cascade with this very smoky outdoor spot. And we've got some stuff that we're going to be doing out here. Now, normally what we do is we run a couple of Mackeys, a couple 100-foot XLRs. The mixer stays up there on the beach. And then we do basically a little set down here. We've got a microphone that goes in this spot. And then that looks like basically just a bunch of 100-foot XLR runs, and it's a pain and it's in the sand and we have to bury it because there's kids. So we don't want to do that. So I'm looking to see if we can pull off a 100-foot throw with this unit. As you just saw me test in the auditorium, or the chapel room, it was okay, but the paddle antennas for the in-ears and for the wireless mics pretty much overran this thing. And I wasn't able to make the unit scan for channels. In full admission, I didn't read in the manual whether that's a thing or not. So if I missed that, then I'll take a look. But I wasn't able to make it do it. You just had to select channels, which if you're having to do that in the middle of the event to find a good channel, I don't know that that's, a quality thing that you want to be doing. So didn't work out so great up there. Had a lot of interference with the equipment that we were running. We had 4 channels of PSM 300 transmitting through RF venue equipment, and then we had a couple of UA powered antennas on our Shure stuff for some older ULXP mics. If I got anywhere near those, I immediately had problems. So we'll see how this throw goes and what it's able to do. This is ready to go. I'm gonna go put the receiver up on the beach, or excuse me, up there, just up there, and see how it does. All right, I don't even know if my DJI reaches all the way up here, but this is where the stuff is gonna be. So I'm gonna set it on this rock. By the way, if you couldn't tell, I'm at a camp. Okay, this is a about 80 feet or so from the rocks, and there's no other wireless transmitters out here, so I'm going to kind of make my way down. Again, I don't even know if there's any interference at the moment, but this is now further and further away. So the receiver for this microphone is up there, and I'm coming down here and filming. I'm about 80 feet from that receiver right now. In fact, my body's blocking it. I think I'm gonna walk, let's say 50 feet on the other side. Let's do that. All right, right about here. It's about 300 feet for the coverage. We'll see how this does. If you've been able to hear me clear the entire time, then you've heard it through the Phenyx system. But if not, I will have switched over to the DJI, which means that this couldn't hold up. And I had to resort to my local mic. Really couldn't pick a better place to do a test, huh? Pretty awesome out here. So that is the completed review of this area down here at our beach, giving this thing about 100 and 200 and 300 feet worth of coverage testing. Let's go see how it did. All right, we're back here at the shop. We've offloaded from camp, and we have with us the fantastic Ptu-X that we've been reviewing. And I did figure out once I got back, and again, I apologize. I had pretty limited time up at this location where we were live. But yeah, there is an auto scan feature on this, and it's you basically power this guy on. In fact, I'll bring this up to you so you can see it. Right here at the bottom, you're going to hold the sync button down. When you do that, this is going to flash to those 3 bars, and then it's going to start counting. Now, what it's doing is it's going through the entire 500 megahertz predefined frequencies that are assigned to this unit, and then it's going to rest on one that it likes. And when it's all said and done, it'll just stay on that channel, and all you have to do is power on your receiver, just like I'm doing here. Right? I'm still on C from the last time that I did this. And all we need to do is just sync these over. Just hit that button. Now both of them say 9, and my RF is solid. So here's the deal. I'm going to do a walkabout in the shop right now and check this out and just see how solid that frequency is. And I'm pretty sure that it'll do just fine. And then I'll kind of share my thoughts on the reasons I like this, and then maybe the reasons I wouldn't use it and the places where I wouldn't use it. All right, let's do this. Not too far from where I announced that we were going to do this review, right over there. Here it is, the Ptu-X, sitting on the PM25 microphone from Phenyx. Boy, did I have a great time testing this up in Donley. Here in a couple minutes, I'm going to give you my thoughts on things that I like about this product, and there are quite a few, and the things that I don't love about it or that I wouldn't use in a professional environment. But I got to tell you, this is an underdog unit, I think, and it deserves some attention. It deserves to be looked into from each person's perspective on what their needs are. But in this test, I've been about 30 feet away from the actual unit. It's just sitting down here on the desk, and my nice camera mount, my Milwaukee vacuum, because we're rocking it tall here. And I'm going to leave real quick and go outside. Now, my building is covered in just sheet metal on the outside, so I expect this to not make it at all. So more than likely, I just lost signal and it sucks, and I won't be able to really use this. But hey, if it holds, that's pretty great. But even good wireless has a tough time making it outside of a metal-clad building. So, I'm going to give you some thoughts on what I think about this product, what it might be good for. I've already shared some of the things that I think would even add value to this, one of them being just a simple LED to show that audio is coming through. And then second, that clip idea, to be able to just slide this onto a strap and send a instrument signal through it from, a guitar, a bass, something like that. I think those really have some good merit. And if you're interested, Phenyx, those are my ideas. Take them, run with them, make your product awesome. So here's the deal. I've basically tested this at the beach. I tested this in a live production environment. I walked the floor with it here. Here's what I think about this unit. All right, we made it back. We are done with camp. Everything's back here in the shop. We've loaded the floor with all of our stuff that we need to empty out, but that's not what we're here to talk about. So I did find the auto scan feature and did a little bit of research, figured that out. Holding the sync button at the bottom does select a best frequency in the 500 megahertz range that these operate in. And that is super helpful, because how do you use a unit that doesn't scan for you? You just randomly select channels. Not a good thing, but that's no problem. The unit does do an auto scan. That's awesome. So we've tested it here in the shop, as you just saw, and overall, yeah, pretty incredible. There are some for real limitations, but there's also some very big bright spots. And one of those for me is at 300 feet, while you would never use that microphone in that capacity, because, you heard the dropout. That's also a crazy range. For such a small transmitter and a small receiver, no real physical antenna on the exterior supporting any, RF transmission or reception. That's pretty incredible. The biggest downside I think that I've got is that if you were to use this unit in a professional stage setting, so we're talking passive antennas, active antennas, in-ear transmitters sitting all around, I think you're going to have problems. And it's just because there's not enough power coming from this unit to overcome amplified signal RF systems. It's just not going to happen. They're so much more powerful. However, this little unit surprised me. Also, I got to say this. The PM25 is a fantastic sounding vocal microphone. And anymore, the mics that are available on the market today really do have a great sound. A lot of things have been tailored, but Phenyx got this one right. It sounds awesome. I would not hesitate immediately to put this microphone on any of my stages through any PA. I could have a great time with it. In fact, we just did a show at Angel Stadium, and I would have absolutely no problem if I was an engineer there. I would throw that through the 144 D&B boxes that we had out with it. No question. I would do it right away. Here's the deal. This unit did struggle on a stage with pro equipment in a very condensed space. I think this unit is perfect for the performer who's, skipping clubs. If you perform, at a bar, you've got a small stage, maybe a wedding, something outside. I wouldn't put this in a professional environment where you super need to count on it, because there will be issues. But man, I got to tell you, from a convenience perspective and a build quality perspective, a usability perspective, having all of the creature comforts that you would expect from a microphone, right? A wireless mic, if you will. It's all there. That's not the review I really thought that I was going to give on this. It seemed like it was going to be an underperformer, and I can't say that. For its price point, the value is there. It powers Phantom, and it lasts a long time. By the way, I ran that test. I didn't record the time lapse of it. 30 straight minutes I got through a mic. It was a Beta 91A, because I just have one here in the shop. It's a Shure Boundary mic. It's commonly used on kick drums, or inside cajones, or stuff like that. Super long time. I got 30 minutes out of that. That was crazy to me. The reality here is that this is a pretty valuable unit, and I've given reviews on stuff where I'm not really stoked to have things in my inventory, and this is absolutely staying in my inventory. This is, again, you're not going to put your lead vocal in an arena on this unit. One of the people I tested it with is correct. It does look like a vape. In fact, the moment I took it off the microphone, he was like, "Oh yeah, it's totally a vape now." But here's the deal. The build quality is high. It feels so good. The connectors on the end, they're not wiggly. They're not coming loose. They're solidly attached. The ability to put the transmitter in the mic and then shore that up and not have it pull away, that's huge. This is a really well-designed product. The sound is good. I don't feel like I lose any sound quality from the microphone with or without the transmitter. So that's huge for the transmitter's sake. It doesn't, you don't lose any actual quality from that mic. I'm impressed. There's 16 channels of available predetermined frequencies that you get to use. And I think you're going to be hard-pressed in a proper environment to find that you can't use this in your arsenal of things for gigs. I think that you should. So this is the underdog for me. This unit comes up pretty tough. I think that you should take a really, really good look at the PTXU. I think that you should take a really, really, really good look at the Ptu-X and see if it's right for your inventory. If it is, boy, you're going to have great value at a very low price. And you can ship it from Amazon. It'll be to you in 2 days. I mean, it doesn't really get better than that. So, boy, not how I thought this review was going to go. Thanks again to Phenyx Pro for letting us take another unit, put it through its paces, see what it can do, see what it can't do. This one's a keeper. We're gonna keep this one in inventory, and we're pretty happy to do it. It's gonna go right into the workbox. So until next time, and on the next review, catch you later.